Hi there and welcome to a new episode of Behind the Lens, and I'm Paul. Thank you so much for joining in and thank you for all the reactions I got on my previous video on why I bought this X-T20 instead of the X-E4 or the XS-10. Yeah, so last episode as well I shared that I predominantly shoot on 35mm on Fuji, and basically I have 4 lenses, all of them below €200, which I'm currently testing. But during the testing I suddenly realized that the field of view was a bit narrow and I needed it to be a bit wider, not like this, but like something like this, not like this. Yeah. So I started looking for a lens with anywhere between 16 and 30mm. So I looked at the 27mm. That really wasn't what I was looking for. I looked at the 16mm, great lens but quite expensive, way above my budget. I looked at the 10-18, which is, ooh, that looks like a very good lens, but also quite expensive. So that was out as well. So I started looking at, can I get those secondhand? Yes, I could, but still too much money, bit of damage here and there. So I started looking at, okay, what do I want to buy? And I got down to the 23mm f2.0 weather sealing. So I started looking as usual, can I borrow it from somebody? Well, nobody I know shoots with it. Can I rent it somewhere? No, I couldn't because it's not expensive enough. So automatically I looked at, okay, can I buy it used? So I looked at all the places, the local ones, eBay, you name it, and normally they go around 350, 325, 350 euros or dollars equivalent. Strangely enough, those prices don't really seem to vary. So I started looking into Amazon and I found a really good deal. It was one of these day deals. I could get this lens, which normally is $499, for $405. So I bought this really new. Now, what we're going to do in this episode is very simple. Let's look a bit at the build quality. I'm not going to go into all this detail because there's too many people already done that. It's very simple. It's got this very simple hood. It's huge, very small. Yeah, you put it on it and it allows you to put your lens cap onto this. The focusing ring is a focusing ring by wire. It's very smooth, but I tested it in manual mode and it really wasn't my cup of tea. The aperture ring I absolutely love. Yeah, and since it's weather sealed, you do see here, oh, there we go, the plastic, how do you call this, ring surrounding it. So that's this lens from a purely build quality. It's nice build, it's made out of metal, it's weather sealed. Minimum focusing distance is between 25 and 30 centimeters. It depends a bit what I've seen. So this could be an important factor if you consider buying this lens, but I bought it purely for document my life, street photography kind of thing. Yeah, you see these kind of samples here behind me. Anyways, I've also looked, like all of you would, at some of the reviews. Yeah, so I normally, for all my lens reviews, I watch Christopher Frost. He basically is the most boring voice in the world, but he makes awesome lens reviews. He was a bit critical of this lens, as was Omar Gonzalez. Here he is. Hi there, Omar. How's it going?
Oh, hello.
He always pops in. When it comes to Fuji, you're most likely going to bump into him. So they were all very critical of the performance at wide open. F2, 2.8. They were very critical of it. Now, I have a few examples here with my main model. Yeah, Mr. Biffington III. Yeah, he basically features for all my tests. Yeah, you see a few shots here. And what you really see here is that this lens would normally perform best at 4.0 and upwards, all the way up to f11. Yeah, you get really sharp all around the frame. When it comes to the center at f2.0 or 2.8, it's definitely much softer, as you can see in some of the examples here. Yeah, with Biff. To be very honest, if you use this for printing, yeah, you'll definitely see it. If you don't print, yeah, and you're just on your mobile phone or on screens like this, people normally don't tend to notice, so I don't see that as a big showstopper. But if you're into portrait photography, for instance, yeah, that is definitely a consideration you need to make. I don't think this is the best lens regardless for portrait photography, but you could consider it. If you're into macro photography where you really need to get up close, yeah, so really like this kind of close, like literally on 5 centimeters from in this case the lens, yeah, this is not the best. You can still get very sharp images, but this is not a macro lens. If you go into, for instance, food photography, I think you can make some very good pictures with food from this. But if you really want to get up close, like some people really want to, this is not the lens for you. If you, however, are more into landscaping, I think this is pretty okay. Yeah, I think the dynamic range is pretty okay. It's pretty okay. Architecture, you can easily do with this your normal street things. Yeah, so taking shots of stores and you see a few popping by here. This lens really performs well as long as you're on f.4 or higher, or 3.6 or whatever it is. It doesn't matter that much because normally when I'm out in broad daylight, my ISO is around 100 or 200 max. And if I go on f2.0, I'm going to be into some serious trouble because I have to get my shutter speeds up to 1000 or higher, which I really don't like shooting on. So from my point, no problem there. So I'm actually very happy with the lens. Yeah, you'll see some examples here flying by, which you just saw as well. I've only had it for a few days, but my first impressions is I'm definitely not disappointed with some lenses. You do have it. I also think that if you really want to buy this, definitely a good option. I think, you know, unless you're really a pixel peeper or really a pro, yeah, you're really a professional photographer, then you might want to consider the 1.4 version, but that's also much more expensive. I'm just going to be honest. From my point of view, guys, this is a really, really good lens. I'm also, by the way, very curious again what your experiences are, or what you would recommend for my normal ordinary day-to-day. I'll take pictures with my camera kind of style, so I normally walk around, take pictures of whatever I see. Yeah. If you have any recommendations, please let me know or share your own experiences. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll be seeing you hopefully in the next episodes, because I will be producing episodes on budget lenses 35mm for the Fuji series. I have about 4, all of them below 200 euros, so I'm already testing with them. It's pretty exciting actually. I really like it. So hope to see you there. Yeah, any questions, give me a bell, and remember, stay safe, be happy, shoot every day, it doesn't matter where, and you'll become a better photographer.